Hello and welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson, and it's been about a year since I put together my 210-gallon tank. So let's check it out and see how it's doing. So here's the full tank overview. And I think it looks really nice. The aquascape's changed a little bit since last year. I've added some rock to the far right of the tank, and I've added all that stuff on the top back that basically has the rock work going all the way to the water surface. I think it looks fantastic. I love this big wall effect. I know it's not the most popular way to do it these days, but I think it looks fantastic. So this left side of the tank is where I've definitely seen the most growth. This Sinulera leather has just had explosive growth. In fact, check out how much growth this has had. If anything's adapted well to this tank, it's this big Sinulera leather. And look at this colt coral. This growth has been phenomenal. I mean, check out what it looked like a year ago at this time. These little colt corals are really easy to take care of. If you haven't tried one, you can pick these frags up for almost nothing. In fact, I got this for nothing. The guy at the fish store just threw them in. I mean, what is that? 5-10 times growth? I mean, it's just huge in comparison to where it was just 1 year ago. Then here's this smaller Sinulera leather on the left. And in fact, I've got video of this guy from February, just after he went into the tank. So check this out. At the same time I got all the live rock and the other fish, this was one of the corals he had in his tank. And so the growth has been huge. The color has changed. He used to be a green color. Now he's this brown color. And really what it takes to change these is the color of the lighting. When you run these, when I had these guys under my 20K metal halides, they were green. Now there's more of this reddish brown. And I run my lights probably closer more to like the 12-14K lighting color. And that's what I like to see in a tank. Now a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, but that's what I like to see. But I think if you look at the growth I'm getting, it is impressive. My Xenia colonies aren't doing as well as they were this time last year. They're not as full, they're not spreading all over the tank, they're not crazy. And I'm kind of okay with that because these things were insane for a while. They were growing so fast, they were breaking off, and they were attaching themselves to anything in the tank. And it was a plague. So now they're under control. And what I think happened is, it's when I brought on the bio pellets and I got my nitrate levels down to where they're completely undetectable by my Salifert test kit. And since then, the growth has been very slow out of the Xenia. And I think that's actually the big thing about Xenia is they like the higher nitrate levels. They still look good, they pulse, they blow in the breeze, but I think it's actually the nitrates that have slowed down the growth and made these from a plague to just a very nice, lovely coral. And there's my orange plating Montes. The growth on this has just been explosive. I mean, check out the difference. So here's what's left of my archway. And it kind of broke. So that's 1 year of growth. And I think it looks fantastic here. And remember, these started out as just two little $10 frags. I mean, just a couple inches across. So I love this stuff. So on my channel, I try to keep it real. And it hasn't all been big wins. And one of the losers has been my gold hammer. And this has started just over the last few weeks. And it's losing color. It's got tissue recession going on. It's looking pretty bad. What I think happened is when I increased the water flow in the tank, it didn't like that. And that over time kind of punished it. So I've lowered the water flow in the tank. I've been really trying hard to target feed this guy to bring it back. We'll see. I've had very bad luck with wall hammers in the past. Once they start to go, I've had very little success bringing them back. But since it is one of my favorites, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to save this guy. Another big loser is my pineapple brain. The pink pineapple brain never did great in this tank I think it was my fault. Early on, I put it under high light and bleached the crap out of it. It just never really recovered. As you can see right now, there's pallies growing all over it. And you know what? I really don't care. It's just going to be a big frag rock of pallies one of these days. And maybe I can sell the pallies on it or something. Who knows? The purple worm brain next to it looks like a big loss, but I'm actually pretty happy considering how fast this was declining and the fact that it's actually slowly regaining some of that tissue loss. These things grow so slowly, but it's actually a very pretty coral and it's slowly coming back. So I'm not going to call this a complete failure, but it's never what you're looking for in the hobby. And then there's my green fabia. And of course, it has the exact same issue. It's receded heavily. Here's where the tissue recession stopped, and it's holding. Is it pretty? Not really. I could probably frag it and put it somewhere, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it there. It's doing fine. So as long as I'm keeping it real, let's keep talking about the depressing stuff in the tank. Pretty much everything I got from Live Aquaria, coral lois, didn't work out for me. My pink bird's nest is slowly declining. The smaller one that they sent me originally that I complained about, it's dead. The one acro that survived is still alive. It's only doing okay. It never colored up to be a bright Fiji acro, but it's kind of a tricolor thing. It's kind of cool. But even then, it's not thriving. It's not really growing fast. And in fact, it's kind of lost tissue in some places. So it's only doing okay. Okay, so are you thoroughly depressed yet? Don't be. There's still a lot of good in this tank. This green branching hammer, it was 2 heads a year ago. Check it out. And this green one is one I picked up a couple weeks ago. It is just this awesome green color, and it's fantastic. Fantastic growth, right? I love it. In fact, I've had more success than failures with my euphyllias. Now, keep in mind that my euphyllias aren't fully open. My lights have just come on, so they'll open up. This guy you're looking at here, he's nice and wide open. The green hammer next to him, he's got a little ways to go. But he's doing okay. He's struggling, I think, because of the water flow, but he's not having near the problems the gold hammer is doing. The little frog spawn next to him, this is a little $15 frag I bought. He was absolutely tiny, and he's like 6 heads now. He's doing fantastic, looks great, no issues. The little frog spawn above him, it's more of a short tentacle thing. I've had great luck with this guy in high water flow, and it just continues to grow, branch out, looks great. The 2 guys next to him were little $15 frags and have more than doubled in size. And the 2 frog spawns above them, they were 3 heads when I got them. Now they're each 4 heads. So not huge growth, but doing well. My little metallic green hammer up there has doubled in size since I bought him. So, that's how this reefing things go. Some stuff's going to decline no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. It's just the way life works. Other stuff is going to succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And failure-wise, well, cup corals. I'm probably not buying cup corals anymore. They're really cool. I've had pagodas, I've had cup corals. They just don't do well in my tank. Some people say they're easy. For me, they don't do well. The rose anemone in back isn't helping him at all. But you know what? When it came down to do I worry about the declining coral or do I mess with the rose bubble tip, I decided not to worry about the coral that was in decline. Another big winner is my squamosa. This thing just continues to grow and grow and grow, and it's so big. And my clown's hosting it, and I love it. It's cool. The green bubble coral behind him, it has done fantastic in this spot. When I first bought him, it took me a minute to figure out where to put this guy, the kind of lighting he likes, the water flow. The water flow seemed like the most critical part for him. But the coloration's spectacular, and his growth is actually pretty good. He's only about half opened up right now. He gains a lot on that size. As the lights fully come on and he gets opened up for the day, he actually takes up a big portion of that area you're looking at. He's fantastic. My encrusting gorgonia is nearly a plague. I think I've got it in a spot where it's kind of pinned in. It's right up next to GSP. There's a little war going on there. I'm hoping one doesn't take over, that I can have both of those rocks that way. And I'm kind of hoping that GSP is going to grow up onto the side of the tank. Another big win is this photosynthetic gorgonia. I got this guy at Petco for 15 bucks. I don't know what was going on, but for a brief period at Petco, they hired a real fish guy who was ordering really cool stuff. That's where I got those multicolored starfish. That's where these gorgs came from. Unfortunately, he's left. I haven't found anything cool since he left, but that guy was awesome, and it just kind of shows you how important the right fish guy is at a store. A store like Petco usually kind of sucks for the hobby we're in, and you know, probably people are going to get pissed. I'm bad-mouthing Petco, but go to my local Petco, look at the way their fish are now, and compare it to when that last guy was there. It makes a big difference. But this gorg was $15. Its growth has been huge, and look at that thing. He's well over a foot from base to tip and probably 8 inches across. He's huge. It took me a while to find the right spot for the toadstool leather, and it really looks good there in my opinion. It kind of blends with the softy to the stony section. It's very bright, pretty, it likes the light, it likes the current, it works great. The big Monty behind him, when I bought it, was kind of a green with pink polyps. Now it's this kind of pink color. I love it. And the growth has actually been really fast on that thing. And that was a $50 coral. The thing's huge. I love it. You can see the Duncan's colony on the top in the back. That thing's doing great. I've had that thing for 3 years now. It just continues to grow. It continues to thrive. I love the colors on it. I love the way it flows. And I've got another little piece in front that I added a few months ago. I think that section just looks fantastic. The potato chip corals are doing great. They are lovely, they grow quickly, they're inexpensive. I love these guys, and they're a nice bright green. So here's another big win. This is my green bird's nest, and check him out last year in my world. This bird's nest I've had for 5-6 months now, something like that. And in my old tank, it was knocked off every time I tried putting it into play. I'm impressed. This guy's had such a hard life. I had a Condylactis anemone in here. It was constantly circling the rock next to him, burning the crap out of him. He was growing off to the right instead of from the center out because the condi was burning him. And he's just doing fantastic. His growth is good. Color's good. He's doing great. My green pineapple brand is doing fantastic. Don't ask me what the difference is between the brands, but this guy thrives under the light. He thrives under the water flow. His coloration's great. Now, he doesn't grow fast. Brands just don't grow fast. But he's beautiful. It took me a long time to find the right placement for this giant Monty colony. And the way I placed him isn't the way that he was growing in the tank that he was in previously. In fact, it's like tipped on its side from there. And it's slowly responding to that and growing to what works in my tank. It wasn't the ideal positioning for the coral, but this coral is very hardy and it's responding very well. But I had to put it here because that's really where it worked well in my tank. This green bird's nest back here, I got it at the LFS, and I don't remember whether it was 2 $15 frags or 3 $15 frags, but they were huge at the time I've got them. They just continue to grow. They're growing really fast. The coloration's that nice bright green, and they're doing really well. So I just got these green bird's nests about a month ago, and they were in the display tank at my LFS. And yes, I hate to say it, I'm that guy. I'm the guy who goes to the LFS, looks at all the stuff they have in their frag tank, and then asks the owner to frag the stuff in his display tank. And actually, Aaron at Animal Attractions is really cool, and he's happy to do it. First, he makes money off the stuff that's grown in his display. Secondly, I know this stuff's hardy because I've been watching it grow, because I've been shopping at this store forever. So it's awesome. You go in, you see the stuff you like, and let's face it, he puts the best stuff in his display tanks. It's great. And the fish are all doing fantastic. I mean, they're all eating well, they're all super healthy, the tangs are getting along. I've got 4 clownfish in here. Everybody does well. There's just no problems in this tank. It's fantastic. The bangies are there. Everything's great. I've got more than enough fish. I love my current setup. There's lots of fish I'd love to get, but right now this balance is so nice that I'm really afraid to add anything to it for fear of destroying that balance. But I think it's beautiful. I think the fish are doing great. So there we go. There is 1 year with the 210 gallon tank. And I think it's been fantastic. I love this tank size. I love everything about it. There have definitely been losses, but there have been huge gains to it. So as it continues to grow and continues to thrive, I will show you all that. And I will also continue to bring to you my failures. That's one thing I try to do, is give as much transparency to my tank as possible. When stuff doesn't work, I want you to know, and I want you to know what I'm doing wrong so that you don't have to make these mistakes. At the same time, when things go well, I'm going to celebrate my success with you. So, thank you for watching this episode of Mile High Reefers. Thank you for watching my channel for almost 3 years now, and I'll see you on the next one.